Hello, my name is Aiden Yared. Welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm here with another very special guest. Tare, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Tare. Tare. I moved to the US 10 years ago, and I recently went back to Ethiopia after 10 years. So Ethiopia is beautiful back
What were you
home.
doing in Ethiopia?
It was my sister's wedding, so
Oh, okay.
I was a family reunion too. So
Mm.
we had a really good time. Uh, I went to middle school and high school here in the US and also college. So I
What
went to
schools did you go
Yeah, no, I went to Tare High School.
to? Okay.
And college I went to UW.
I'm a
Yeah.
UW student. Okay.
That's where I went, and I graduated a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
almost a year,
Class of 2022.
2023.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. 2023. So first of all, what I want to ask is, you mentioned you came here 10 years ago, which is a long time ago. I want to ask if you were back my age again or in high school when you first came here, any of those three timelines, what advice would you give yourself?
I think I was actually thinking about this earlier too. I think I would take more risk.
Okay.
I think back there I was kind of afraid to take a risk, and
Mhm.
now me going back to Ethiopia and seeing like the opportunities people have and how they react, the culture, I think they want to take a risk, but they don't have anything to take a risk for. Like there's no opportunity for them. So I would I would take more risk.
Is there any specific moments or opportunities that you had that you were afraid to take risks for that you wish you had taken then?
I People say I take risk. Like even at work, people talk about, oh, TK is a type of person. They call me TK, and I'm a type of person that take risk.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that. I don't see myself taking risks. So like it could be starting a business. It could be talking to people. Like it just doing things that I like. My inside feels like holding me back. Like doing
Okay.
things that get me out of my comfort zone. So that's my priority right now, getting myself out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And I feel like you're at a great age to do that. You're still young. You have like a lot of wisdom at the same time too, that you can take a lot of those risks. And what are some of those life principles that you want to continue to have and that you have had in your past that you would say have like made who Tare is today?
I think I socialize a lot. Like I talk to people and I'm open about it. So
Uh-huh.
let's say I meet new person that I just met.
Uh-huh.
I don't hold back. I'm myself. Like people usually hold themselves back until they get to know that person and
Yeah.
shape their personality or shape the way they approach them based on that person. But I think I just become myself, and which is good and also might have a negative side to it too. But
Okay.
the other thing I think is help. Like I'm a type of person that doesn't like getting help. I love
I
helping
can
people.
relate.
Yeah. No, I love helping people, but when it comes to receiving help,
Mm.
I feel less.
Mm.
So a person asked me last time when I told them this, they're like, "So you're helping another person because they feel less? Like put yourself on their side." So because
Mm.
what I feel whenever I receive a help, I feel less. So he made me think like when you're helping them, you feel big. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, yeah, I
So
get that.
when he asked me that, I'm like, is that what I think? Is that what my mindset is? But I don't see myself doing it that way. I don't know if it makes sense. But
Mm-hmm.
I now I'm a type of person that receives help. Like I'm okay for asking for help.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've that's like a very unique way to look at it. I've
Yep.
never thought about. When I said like saying, I have a hard time going like asking for help, and like I'm always like, no, like another person should ask for help. Like I don't need that help. It's like my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess thinking about it, like if somebody was to come ask me for help, I'm more than willing to.
Mm-hmm.
But like that feels like I'm thinking of them as less,
Yeah.
and like that's the point of view. Like I've never thought about it that way, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Not now. Like since I heard that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take help. Like
yeah,
I'm gonna seek for help when I need it.
yeah.
So I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
And so you're very multi-talented. There's a lot of different hobbies. As far as I know, there might be more. There might be a lot more things that he does. But tell me about the different hobbies that you have and how did you get into them?
I'm not a type of person that likes to talk about myself. I don't like talking about
Well, you're on the
myself.
podcast.
But I play music. I started with the piano.
Okay.
I play piano. I play bass guitar. I play the drum, and I'm also a photographer.
Yeah.
Also do videography too, and I like socializing with people. Like I think in my young age I just allowed myself to just touch everything that I get. You know, like music is like I got to play around with it. I didn't run away from it, or I devoted my time for it. So I think it just I was willing to play around with different things, and now I think they're skills. No, they're
Yeah.
talents, I guess.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
definitely talents.
Yeah.
If you need a photographer, TK Photography. He's amazing.
Thank you.
So how did you like get into music? I'm somebody that also loves music.
She is an amazing singer. She's an amazing musician too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But how did you get into music and photography as well?
Yeah, so back home before I came here, I never had any attachment with music. Music was not something that gets me excited, or I wasn't exposed to it. So when I got to the US, like I started going to church and I got to see people that are playing music, and I was like, I saw his name is Gurmish and he plays keyboard. So I was like,
Yeah.
the way he plays, I was like, I want to be like that. Then I started playing keyboard. I started watching YouTube videos. I have some videos when I first started too. They're funny when I look back. But I started like devoting my time. It got me interested. Then we have a choir at church called Yawunisi,
Yeah.
and Ebenezer, your brother, he plays piano.
Yeah.
So he already knew some things. So I was just starting. He knew some things. And Haptish, my brother, he plays drum. He wanted to play drum at that time. And to make it a full band, we don't have a bass player now. And they saw my big fingers and they're like, you should be a bass player. So even though I wanted to play piano, they exposed me to bass guitar. So that's how I shifted to bass guitar. And now I consider myself as a bassist. I play bass guitar. I'm self-taught.
Which do you like better, bass or piano?
That's a tough question. I think in the past, because I didn't really consider myself as a bassist, I was every time if there was a bass and a keyboard, I would just run to the keyboard, the piano, because it's easier. I feel comfortable with it. But I think I would say bass guitar.
Because you're more comfortable with it now.
Now I'm more comfortable. Like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's great too. And photography, you have a whole business in photography. How did you start out?
Yeah, I started my photography business at my church. So like 8-9 years ago, they needed someone in the media team. So I just, like I said, I like exposing myself to different things. So I just volunteered to do it. And I started taking pictures. I started doing videography. So I was like, then as I was doing it, people from church starting to ask me if I wanted to do their family picture, graduation picture, those kind of things. I was like, yes. Then I was doing it for free. Then I was like, there's money here. Like I can turn this into business. So for 3-4 years, I just did it as a side hustle. Then I still do it as a side hustle, but now I'm licensed. I have a LLC for it. So now I own a business, I guess. Last time I actually went to the bank to open a bank account for my photography business. And that just made me feel like that's it. Like it's possible.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like taking a step for it. So it made me feel like, okay, I own an LLC business and I have a bank account for it. Like I don't take it lightly, because that seemed huge for me in the past. You know what I'm saying? So now for me, anything is possible. It's just a matter of taking a risk again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lately, you've seemed to be taking a lot of risks. You started a program called Uplift. It's a mentorship program that I'm actually a part of. It's really great. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. So, what is Uplift? How did you start it?
Yeah, so Uplift mentorship program is we're it's at Madan Alam Church, like we founded at Madan Alam Church, and it's to help middle school, high school, college, first year and second year in college, students to get guidance, mentorship from people in their own community, people from church. At church, we have professional people, like they work at Microsoft, they own their own business, they started a nonprofit, and those people we talk to them, but we don't know those things about them. So I wanted to create a platform where that becomes exposed. You know what I'm saying? So people can go up to them and like young people can go up to them and be like, I want to start my own business. Like that should be normal at church. So that's something I didn't get when I was in school. So now like the next like you guys don't have to go through the same thing, and we just wanted to create that platform. So I'm not the only person doing this. It's Pastor Afi, Yoni, Salamiti, Fabi. You know, it's a whole team working together. So, and we got mentors. If I started mentioning names, I'm not gonna stop. So we have a whole team working for it. And before I started this mentorship program, I used to work at Tare High School. That's the high school I went to.
Yeah.
And I worked there as a mentor for 2 years, and I would see kids from my church at the school, and I would talk to them about school stuff. But whenever I see them at church, I don't have that conversation, and that kind of felt weird, because like talking about school professional life at church is not a sin. That's what we go through Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we wanted to create a platform that does that.
Yeah, and then what you mentioned about like talking about professional life at church feels like a sin sometimes. And me like going into college, I wanted to make connections of like, people who were in the profession that I'm interested in. And like when I started asking people like what they did, it felt so inappropriate.
Yeah.
You're just like, so what do you do? And it's like it feels wrong, but it shouldn't be,
Yeah.
Church is a community where everybody's open, so might as well use that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's like you don't talk about God, or you're not supposed to talk about God at school, right? Like it shouldn't be a conversation. Like it's a sensitive topic at school. So people usually don't talk about it. But when it comes to church, now it's the opposite. You don't talk about school at church because it's not a sensitive topic, but it's not a culture.
Yeah.
And people that come to church are looking for jobs, some of them. And the hiring manager is sitting at church, and they don't know that because we don't talk about it. So that's a barrier that we wanted to break through this mentorship program.
Yeah. So it's already off to a really great start, and I want to know, is there any plans to expand it, and if what is the future for this program that you have seen?
Yeah, I think one thing I would say before that is I was kind of hesitating before starting this program, because I'm like, the way I visualized it, which is God giving me that vision, I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this. So no, let's put this aside. Then I talked to Pastor Ifi about it. I talked to him about it one day, and he was like, let's do it. So he kept me accountable, so he motivated me. He's like, I'm gonna be right next to you when you started this. So we started it together, but the goal is to grow it into the whole community. We wanted to expose it to the whole community and to other churches too. Churches, that means if we expose it not to just for the kids, but we get more mentors from the different communities too. So that's the goal, to expand it to the community.
I cannot wait to see where this goes.
I can't wait to.
I'm honestly I was amazed when I heard that you were starting this. obviously you took a huge risk, and
Yeah.
it's showing how you're actually making progress in that goal that you have to take more risks. And I'm so glad to have you here, Tare. Thank you for taking the time to come talk to me
Thank
and
you.
share your story. And I hope we can have you here more often
I
for
would love
more
to.
future
I
episodes.
usually don't like talking about myself, but yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think it's. I don't think I have a story. Like, I don't think I'm the owner of this. Like, God is the owner of this. Like,
Yeah.
I, you know, like, there are things that we go through in life, but the reason why, like, you, someone should know their life before Christ and after Christ.
Yeah.
And if you know my life before Christ, I don't think you would let me sit here. But the only thing the only reason why someone becomes valuable for them to sit and talk, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's because Christ is in them,
Yeah.
and they have something good to share, which is the good news, right?
Yeah.
So all credit for everything I mentioned goes back to the owner, which is God
Amen.
Himself.
Amen.
Yes.
So before I close off, is there anything else you want to share?
I think the one thing I would like to say is, Aiden, you're an amazing person.
Oh.
I know you don't want to hear this, but
No.
you're amazing. Like,
Thank
you setting up this, getting ready to do this. I get motivated with what you do. So
Thank you.
you're a role model to me too. You
Oh.
know, like, you're so devoted. Like, the devotions you do, the podcasts you do, with your music, like everything that you do, you're so dedicated and you invest your time in it, which is worth it, and which is gonna be worth it in the future too. So keep it up.
Thank you. That really means a lot coming
Yeah.
from you. You're definitely somebody that I look up to. And hearing that from you really means a lot. So thank you, Tare, for coming here. Thank you all for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this and learned something new from Tare. And I hope you all have a great day or evening. Well, bye.
Yep. Thank you.